Ruben's life crystallized a lot of things for me. When I met Ruben, I was 15 years old. For the first time, I was really traveling on my own. I traveled from Toronto after being with the Canadians for a few months, and I went to see my family in New York. And as part of that trip, I took the train down from New York to New Jersey to see this man who I'd written to, who, in my opinion, had basically turned my life around and made me realize, hey, I can actually overcome all of the obstacles in my life right now if he could, you know, do what he's done, and that is never be broken within a prison and never say I did it. Ruben recognized immediately that at 15 years old, I was a very frightened kid, and standing there to meet him, I almost fainted, and I don't say that with any exaggeration. And he recognized that, and he immediately grabbed me and hugged me. You got to picture this. This was in the middle of the visiting area of the prison. All the big tough guys are there. Ruben, for the first time in 5 years, is down visiting someone, and he's standing in the middle of the hall hugging him. You know, he did it because he knew I was frightened. And from that moment forward, I realized something was not right. Here is this guy that we've been told a lot about, and yet he's able to respond in such beauty the way he did to the need of this kid. I thought right then, there's more here than meets the eye.
I started writing. Discovered that I was doing more than just telling a story. See, writing is a weapon, and it's more powerful than a fist can ever be. When I first met Ruben, I flew up to Toronto and sat down with he and the Canadians, as they're called, who were instrumental in getting him out, helping him to get out. And I just remember sitting there, just looking at him going, this, you know, to actually be with the person that you've read about, knowing all that he's been through and all that he's suffered and all that he was able to endure. And to be able to see this man smile as he does today, as he does all the time, it's an inspiration, I mean, with what he's been through.
I don't know how this man had the strength to endure the humiliation and the deprecation of the human spirit and the human body and the human mind for 2 decades. I mean, this man had nothing except everything.
Every time I sat down to write, I could rise above the walls of this prison. I could look out over the walls all across the state of New Jersey.
I asked him, I said, why do you think all this happened to you? I said, do you think you deserved it? And he was able to handle it, you know. I don't know that, I know I couldn't. I don't know who else could.
I could see Nelson Mandela in his cell writing his book. I could see Huey. I could see Dostoevsky. I could see Victor Hugo, Emile Zola. And they would say to me, Ruben, what you doing in there? And I say, hey, I know all you guys. It's magic, Leslie.
I only did what I could do, what I had to do. And if I had to do it all over again, I would do the same thing all over again. So I wouldn't change 1 second of it for 1 moment, because I like myself. And what I see in this movie, which is a portrayal of myself, I'd like it very much.
In this corner, wearing the white trunks with the black stripe, the winner of 18 of his last 21 fights, Ruben Hurricane Carter.
The book itself deals with the great injustice that I was experiencing at the time. And since I didn't receive a full and fair hearing in court, and therefore my side of the story was not known, it was incumbent upon me to put the story out there. So I figured the best way to do that was to write a book. And so I wrote the book, The 16th Round, and people responded to it. The last page of the book was sort of a plea. I'm saying to the people that I'm coming to you in the only manner left open to me. I've lost my loved ones, I've lost my family, I've lost my career, I've lost my life. Now only you can help me.
Look, Lisa, got this one right here, 25 cents, the 16th round.
Oh, your first book, huh?
Yeah.
Reuben Hurricane Carter.
The three actors that play the major roles, besides Denzel and Lesra in this film, are the key, because they, as a group, committed themselves so deeply to Reuben Carter, and through Lesra encouraged that relationship, and finally ended up coming down and meeting Reuben Carter in prison. And it's these three people. There was a larger group, but they were a group of people who had very high principles.
You see that light? The one that's blinking? You see it?
Yeah.
Can you see Lesra?
Yeah, I see you. What are y'all doing here?
When we met the Canadians, they were very conscious of actually not projecting themselves as individual personalities. You know, what they did ultimately was supported, although there's only 3 of us in the film, it was actually supported by a larger group who were actually still working in Toronto and financially supporting the endeavours of Terry, Sam and Lisa.